Vishupad Paramahansa Padaprajak Acharya Asitar Satashi Shimad. ISKCON BBT founder Charles of Divine Grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishupad is Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakohosh Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Prajamumandamanam Ki Jai. Shri Namadut Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Lachal Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Their most beautiful worship Shri Shrikmini Dwarkadish Ki Jai. Shri Shrikmini Dwarkanath Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Maladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Samabeta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Going back to home, back to Godhead Ki Jai. ISKCON Los Angeles Yatra Ki Jai. Brihad Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. International Food for Life Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gaurang. Glory to the Prabhupada. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiyayat. Bye. Before we recite the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God and Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, and unto Srila Prabhupada, who is the translator, the commentator, and our spiritual master. Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regularly attending the Srimad Bhagavatam class and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving devotional service unto the personality of God, at whose worship with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're continuing our reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the first canto, chapter 17. And we have two verses. 26 has no purport, so I'll read that by myself, and then we'll do 27 responsively. But first I have to find a verse. Okay. So 117, 26. Okay, yes. Yam cha bhumir bhagavata nyasitoru para sati srimadbhis tat pada nyasai sarvataha krita kautaka yang chabumir bhagavata nyasitoru parasati srimadbhistat padanyasai sarvata krita kautika. So I'll just read the translation, then we'll do the next one. The burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. So this one we'll do together. Shoshati Ashru Kala Sadhi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abhamanya Nripa Vyajaha Shudra Bhokshanti Mam Iti Shoshatyashu Kala Sadhvi Durbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti Shochachashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti Shochachashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti. Please chant. Shochatyashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti Shochatyashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti Shochatyashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti. Vaishnavins. Shochatyashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti Shochatyashu Kala Sadhvi Turbhage Vojita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bhokshanti Mamiti. Okay, synonym, Shochati, lamenting. Ashrukala, with tears in the eyes. Sadhvi, the chaste. Durbhaga, as if the most unfortunate. Iva, like. Ujjhita, forlorn. Sati, being so done. Abhramanyaha. Remember we said if that last syllable, if that last word letter is long, then you pronounce that long letter and then aha. So it's not abhyamanyaha, it's amanyaha. Mentally, take the H away. How would you pronounce it? Abramanya, right? Long A. So it's Abramanya. Abramanya. devoid of rabbinical culture. Nripravyajaha, posed as the ruler. Shudraha, lower class. Bhokshanti, would enjoy. Mam, me. Iti, thus. Srila Prabhupada's translation for this verse. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes. For now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. Please repeat. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes. For now she's being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The Kshatriya, or the man who is qualified to protect the sufferers, is meant to rule the state. Untrained lower class men or men without ambition to protect the sufferers cannot be placed on the seat of an administrator. Unfortunately, in the age of Kali, the lower class men without training occupy the post of a ruler by strength of popular votes, and instead of protecting the sufferers, such men create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of all comforts of the citizens, and thus the chaste Mother Earth cries to see the pitiable condition of her sons, both men and animals. That is the future of the world in the age of Kali, when irreligiosity prevails most prominently. And in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, and so on. So that last sentence is very, very, very important for us as a movement. In the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, and so on. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshnarni. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtang Shnapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishavangscha. Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Ragana Tanvitam Tang Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitangsha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripre Vancha Kalpaturubhya Shah Kripasindubhe Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Gauravaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today is also Lalita Shasti, so we want to save a few minutes at the end to say something about Shri Lalita Devi. Here we're continuing to hear from Parikshit Maharaj. He has heard from the bull and the cow, now he's addressing them. And in today's two verses, let's just read the translations again so we can see what we're meditating on. 26 was, the burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well when he was present as an incarnation. All good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. So when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, he literally reduced the burden of the earth by destroying so many. Once we know from the beginning of the 10th canto, first chapter, once the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense force of demoniac kings. So Krishna personally engage in ridding the world of these demoniac kings and their armies. And because of that, the earth certainly felt that her burden was diminished. But then in the next verse, he says, now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes. For now, she's being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. So it seems like Krishna's mission was thwarted. He came, he personally reduced the burden of the earth by engaging in killing so many demons, their armies. But now it says, he's saying that she's been forsaken by the personality of God. So is that true? Does Krishna forsake? No, he doesn't. It just seems that way because the material world is meant as a place where the living entities can come and express their non-Krishna conscious desires and live non-Krishna conscious lifestyles if they choose to. When there is a strong leader, administrator, then they should be systematically trained in Krishna conscious lifestyle. But periodically, that strong leadership disappears, and then the demoniac tendencies of the living entities in the material world become more prominent. But Krishna never ultimately forsakes. He says, whenever there's a decline in these religious principles, then he comes and he reestablishes them. So he came personally 5,000 years ago, chopped down so many kings, and enjoyed doing it. And sometimes it's difficult for us to understand because death is ghastly. Nobody wants to die. And especially in some of the ways that Krishna killed some of those demons, like it's described when Jarasandha came to Mathura with his armies. Krishna and Balaram, they just cut off heads and arms, and not just the warriors, but the elephants and their horses, and it became like an ocean of blood. Such a ghastly scene. But because it's done by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, and the devotees go, die! If you see just a little bit of blood anywhere, even your own blood a little bit, it's ghastly. But so the devotees are saying jai for seeing an ocean of blood. Yes, because it's created by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we know that all of those living entities, including the horses and elephants, that got killed personally by Krishna, the Supreme Personality, immediate liberation. To be killed by God means immediate liberation. So there's nothing to lament. However, when the demons perpetrate a similar scene, like even today, people are still shocked by how many people died in the Vietnam War, or the Second World War, or the First World War, and just you see, you may get a mental picture of man's inhumanity to other men. It's ghastly, and no sane person goes jai for that. Nobody wants to have another world war, but we would love to see Krishna come and again rid the world of the rule of these demoniac kings. So, because they're untrained, because they're not fit, they simply create havoc for the citizens, as it's stated. Prabhupada said in this, because they don't protect the sufferers, they simply create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. And we see that. I'm on the neighborhood.com site for this area that we live in, and people are always lamenting robbery, and on Labor Day there was gunshot right here. Somebody was shot at Watsika and Regent, right down the block here. Somebody got shot. Two men in a car pulled up, one shot this guy, and the guy who got shot is not cooperating with the police. So they're figuring it was some kind of drug deal went bad and he doesn't want to implicate himself. So like that, this material world becomes an intolerable place. You try your best to establish a nice community, nice neighborhood, but because people are not systematically trained in God consciousness, then the demoniac side of the nature takes over. We know it's stated that in this Kali Yuga, in this age of Kali, the demon and the devotee take birth in the same body. So if we don't nourish the devotional tendencies, then the demoniac tendencies come to the front. They take over. Because it's the age of Kali, and demoniac tendencies are promoted freely and openly by those who should be guardians of society, the leaders of society, the government, men and women. They have no idea what is to be done and what is not to be done, which is the first symptom of a demoniac lifestyle. Pravritim cha nivritim cha jana na vidur asura. The asuras, Krishna says in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Pravritim cha nivritim cha jana navidu arsara. If you don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done in every circumstance, then you're going down the demoniac path. So, systematic training, as it's stated in that last paragraph, systematic training of the citizens is the only way. We're not going to create some armed revolution. That's not our path. We're not going to create some armed revolution to overturn the demoniac governments, either in this country or any other country. Our path is systematic education in the values of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what are those values of the Srimad Bhagavatam? From the very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma prochita kaivatra. Any cheating form of religiosity of Dharma is kicked out. Kicked out. The Bhagavatam does not want to deal with anything that's not pure devotional service to Krishna. So, that's what we're being trained in. We're being trained in practicing pure devotion to the Lord. And we know also from that first canto, Savai Pungsak Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhaktira Dokshade. Ahaitaki Apratiyata, Yenatma Samprasidati. That the supermost Dharma, topmost expression of Dharma, for all humanity, not just for people who come from India or that part of the world. No. The supreme occupation, Dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service for the transcendent Lord. Such devotion has to be uninterrupted and unmotivated to completely satisfy the self. So that's what we're being trained in. We're being trained in pure devotional activities. And Prabhupada says in his purport to that verse that this is the answer to the first of the questions that the sages of Naimisharanya asked to Goswami. And that first question was, please give us the distillation of all of the revealed scriptures. Distill it all into a simple formula that people can follow so they can be elevated. So we're being given that by Srila Prabhupada and the predecessor acharyas in our line. It has all been distilled into a very, very simple formula that everybody can engage in for elevating their consciousness back to the pure platform, and that they can completely satisfy themselves. And what is that formula? Chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada said if you're unintelligent, you can't read, write, whatever, but you catch up this instruction to chant, then you will come to the pure platform. However, if you're smart enough, then you can read. There's so many books Prabhupada has produced, so many books of knowledge to convince us to chant and to give us the philosophy by which we can convince others to chant. This is very important. We're not meant to stay on the Kanishna Adhikari platform. We're meant to come to the Madhyam platform. The Kanishna Adhikari is Arche Eva Hari Puja Kyat Sharadayate Nacha Bhakti Shuchani Sabhakta Prakrita Smrita. That comes to the temple or lives in the temple but only sees the deities, and I want to worship the deities and do something for the deities, but doesn't know how to recognize devotees and interact with devotees. So one who's on that platform, it's good. It's not being put down. You have to start somewhere. So that's the beginning. No, we never say, you're a Kanishadikari, don't come here anymore. No. Keep coming and worshiping the deities and giving some donation in the hundi box. And gradually you'll be inspired, especially if you give some oral reception to this philosophy. You'll be inspired to move on to the next platform. Prabhupada said in one lecture, I'm listening now at home to the Nectar of Devotion series. Prabhupada spoke in Radha Damodar Temple. And he was saying how it's the duty of the spiritual master to gradually elevate the disciples, the followers, from the Kanishta platform to the Madhyam platform. Not just, okay, I've initiated them and they're worshiping the deity, okay, fine. No, it's the duty of the spiritual master to gradually elevate his disciples, followers, from the Kanishta state to the Madhyam state. And he mentioned how his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, was lamenting that he made a lot of his disciples, it seems, we have heard the number 60,000 disciples that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta made. But he was lamenting that very few, if any, had come to the platform of preacher, which is the Madhyam platform. The Uttama platform, no preaching, because the Uttama Adhikari sees everybody as being engaged in Krishna service except himself or herself. So there's no need to preach. And Prabhupada gave us an example, Kaviraj Das Goswami, that he said of himself that I am lower than the worm and stool. Was he actually? No. He was on the highest platform of devotion and knowledge. But he was feeling like that. This is how the pure devotee feels. So in order to preach, the pure devotee has to come down to the Madhyam platform and try to elevate others to that same platform. And what is that? Ishvare tadadineshu balisheshu dusatsucha prema maitri kripopeksha yakaroti samajama. And we should all try to come to this platform or be on this platform if we're already beyond. We have to come to this platform. So Ishvare tadadineshu balisheshu dusatsucha. The Madhyam Adhikari sees four classes of individuals. First, the Lord, Ishvara. And how does he interact with Ishvara? Tries his best to give loving devotional service to the Lord. Taradina means the devotees. So the second category that the Madhyam Adhikari sees is the devotees of the Lord. And how does he interact with the devotees? In a friendly manner. Always friendship, wanting to serve in a friendly way. Not friendship where I use you. That's the material friendship. Material friendship means, oh, my friend is so nice, I can call him or her at any hour and order them to do something and they will do it. My great friend. And if they ever don't carry out my order, then they're not a friend anymore. You're a demon, you're an enemy. Not that kind of friendship. Friendship in the devotee sense means always serving the other devotees in a friendly mood. And there are three categories of devotees that the Madhyam Adhikari sees. He sees those who are on a higher platform and he wants to serve them with love and devotion. He sees those who are on the same platform and just have friendly relations. Friendly relations also means pushing each other to go forward. And then he sees those on a lower platform and gives assistance to bring them up. Not that, you're a neophyte, stay on. No. Those who are in the preaching platform, they don't want the neophytes to remain neophytes. They want to help them to come forward. Balisheshu Dvisatsu. Dvisatsu means the envious. So that's another category. Tadadina, then Balisha. Third category, Balisha means those who are innocent. Prabhupada defines innocent as neither demon nor devotee. So there's a chance of making them into devotees because they're not demoniac. They're not openly opposed to Krishna consciousness. So that's the category that we go out every day, or we should go out every day trying to meet. Whether we're just going to Trader Joe's or we're going out to the book table on the prayer or whatever, those are the kind of people that we're looking for. We're looking for those who are neither demon nor devotee. And we're trying to make them devotees by primarily giving them the books, but also by chanting and by giving them prasadam. These are the three established methods that Prabhupada has given us for spreading Krishna consciousness. We don't have to stay home and scratch our heads how to spread Krishna consciousness. Just plug in to one of these three activities. Book distribution, prasadam distribution, harinam. And your efforts will be successful. Even if nobody takes. The book distributors know. If just you make the effort every day to go out and distribute, it's wonderful if you can do 100 books and 500 Lakshmi points or whatever. But even if nobody takes, just by making that endeavor, you know that Krishna is pleased with you. Guru is pleased with you. So it's successful. So Balisha and then Dvisatsu. Those who are envious. We don't want to give them fuel for further blasphemy or even open attacks. So we try to avoid them. But even those envious personalities, any contact they have with a devotee will begin their devotional life. Any contact, just like I've said many times. When we go out on Harinam and we're chanting, some people immediately cover their ears and run away. But by the time they cover their ears, it's too late. The mantra already went in. And for the rest of the day at least, if not for the rest of their life, they'll remember, I was on the promenade just nicely window shopping, and these Hare Krishnas came and they started chanting Hare Krishna and Hare Krishna. They'll be thinking Hare Krishna the rest of their lives. So their Krishna conscious life has begun. So this is the method given to us for changing the world We are not going to engage in any armed revolution and marching up and down the street against this person and that person. No, that's not our path. Our path is systematic education in the values of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's our path that's been handed to us by our predecessor Acharya, and we should joyfully take part in that. And I'm mentioning this because, as some of you know, I'm in charge of the academic outreach. So the school season has begun. So we will be getting invitations to go and speak in different classes. And sometimes it's difficult to get devotees to go along with me. I don't like to go alone. Arcita Prabhu usually comes. And we like to have at least a couple other devotees to come along. It's very, very rewarding to see how teachers get it over some time. There was a teacher, she's now retired at Cal State LA. And in the beginning, everything we would say, she would oppose. She invited us to come and speak to her class, but she was so fixed in her misunderstanding of life in general that she opposed everything we would say. We would say that 5,000 years ago, understanding that in the age of Kali people would be less intelligent, Srila Vyasadeva wrote down what was previously an oral tradition. And she would oppose, no, 5,000 years ago there was no writing. People couldn't write. Everything we would say, she would oppose. But gradually, over a period of a decade or so, her heart changed. And she would remind us, if we would get halfway through our presentation and not say something about the four regular principles, she would say, tell them about your principles. So this is our business, systematic propagation of the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is what will change the world, because the citizens at large will become so educated in these values that they will demand good leaders. They won't vote for rascals and fools anymore. They will demand good leaders, and if a devotee will run for political office, they will vote for him or her, understanding that this is the best choice. Now we have, in different areas, some devotees running for political office. It's very, very doubtful that they will win, and if they win, what could they do anyway? Because the vast majority of people still oppose these principles. But when we systematically propagate these principles amongst the society at large, people will demand leaders who are vegetarian, who don't slaughter innocent animals. They will demand leaders who don't take money from the big industry of intoxication, and therefore they have to turn a blind eye. Even if he or she themselves don't drink, because they take money from the alcohol lobby, then they have to turn a blind eye, and so on and so forth. All of these principles are being blocked by big business, opposed by big business. And if the politicians take money from those big businesses, they can't, how are they going to oppose them? They have to, just like here in America right now and in other parts of the world, there's a huge opioid crisis. People are addicted to these painkillers, these opioids. And where do they get them? Legally. Their doctors prescribe them and prescribe them and prescribe them and give them hundreds of times more pills than they need. And so they either become addicted and kill themselves, or they sell the excess on the open market. And the government knows about it. And for many, many years, they would do absolutely nothing. People were dying. Miami, Florida was the epicenter of this. And the government knew. They wouldn't prosecute the doctors, they wouldn't prosecute the distributors, and they wouldn't prosecute the manufacturers. The manufacturers knew that, but they were raking in so many billions of dollars, they didn't care. Yes, another order of 10 million pills for Florida, send it there. So, people need to be systematically educated and also given a diet of prasadam, so they don't feel a craving for all kinds of intoxication. This is one thing that prasadam does. Somebody who becomes intoxicating on prasadam, they don't need any further intoxicants. They don't need anything else. We used to, at least in Henry Street Temple, Brigapati was there, Apurva Prabhu was there, we used to say, if somebody joins and immediately develops a taste for halava, they're going to make good devotees. Nowadays, a lot of devotees, even in our movement, halava, you eat halava? Yes, we eat halava. Prabhupada ate halava. Of course, halava doesn't have to be made with refined sugar. Yesterday, whoever made the Didi halava for the breakfast, they made it with gur, and it was very good. So yes, you can find sweeteners that are not harmful. There's so many natural sweeteners that can be used in our making our sweets. But taking sweet is part of our tradition. It's good for your diet also. We know there's 6 tastes that Ayurveda recommends you take every single day, and one of them is sweet. Sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent, and bitter. So don't be put off by the non-sweet eaters. You can take a little sweet. You should take a little sweet every day. Papa took sandesh every single morning. He took practically every day sandesh. And when the weather was a little cool, he would ask his assistant to make halva or some other like that. So sweet is all right if we don't do it in excess. We have to learn to control our tongues. But the way to control the tongue is to limit it only to Krishna prasadam. Krishna Bharadaya Markara Bharajiva Joy. Swaprasadam Dilabai. Say Namrita Radha Krishna Gunanga. And in love, glorify Radha and Krishna. So we'll stop here if there are any questions on any of these points, and then we'll say a few words about Lalita Devi. Any questions? All right, so today is Lalita Shastri, the appearance of Sri Lalita Devi. All of us were chanting japa, yes. We have a string of 100. How many on the string? 108. So, and what does that represent? That's why I'm asking you. You should learn. 108 represents the 108 principal gopi girlfriends of Krishna. And out of that 108, there are 8 principal gopis, right? So Lalita is one of them, the chief of them. She's the chief of all the gopis. So the 8, you should be, there's a mnemonic device I'll give you for remembering the 8. So Lalita Vishak, everybody knows, right? Then there are 2 Devis, Ranga Devi and Sudevi. And then there are 2 that begin with C, Chitra and Champakalata. So now you have 6. So who are the other 2? Who knows? Tungavidya and Induleka. Wow, thank you. Hare Krishna. So those are the 8 principal gopis. And again, of all of them, Sri Lalita Devi is the topmost. So I'm going to read just a couple of excerpts from Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion describing Lalita. These from chapter 27, which is entitled Symptoms of Ecstatic Love. One of the symptoms is breathing heavily. So Prabhupada writes, as far as breathing heavily is concerned, it is stated, Lalita, one of the gopis, is just like a chataki bird, which only takes water falling directly from the rain cloud and not from any other source. In this statement, Krishna is compared to the dark cloud, and Lalita is compared to the chataki bird seeking only Krishna's company. The metaphor continues to say, quote, as a heavy wind sometimes disperses a mighty cloud, so the heavy breath from Lalita's nostrils caused her to miss Krishna, who had disappeared by the time she recovered herself. So Lalita is intimately engaged in serving the divine couple. Here's another excerpt, but she has a particular fiery mood. So this next quote is going to demonstrate that. This is from Nectar Devotion, chapter 47, Compassion and Anger. So to demonstrate anger, in ecstatic, loving service to Krishna in anger, Krishna is always the object. In Budagda Madhava, 2nd act, verse 37, Lalita Gopi expressed her anger, which was caused by Krishna when she addressed Srimati Radharani thus, quote, my dear friend, my inner desires have been polluted. Therefore, I shall go to the place of Yamaraj. But I am sorry to see that Krishna has still not given up his smiling over cheating you. I do not know how you could repose all your loving propensities upon this lusty young boy from the neighborhood of the cowherds. So she is so intimately involved in serving Radha Krishna that she sometimes chastises Krishna and sometimes she chastises Radha also. She gives them like that. So we cannot imitate Lalita, but it is stated, and I will end with this, we know Rupa Goswami wrote so many prayers glorifying Shri Nam, like Shri Namashtaka. He also wrote Shri Lalita Ashtaka. So in that Lalita Ashtaka, he says, Yam kamapi vrajakule vrishabhanujayak preksha sapaksha padavim anurajyamanam sajastadishtagatamena katartayantim devim gunai sulalitam lalitam namami. And the translation is, I offer pranam unto the supremely charming Sri Lalita Devi, the treasure house of all good qualities. Upon seeing any young maiden anywhere in Braja and discerning that she is inclined towards her Priya Saki, Srimati Radhika, Lalita immediately tells Radha that she must accept this person in her own party, Swapaksha. Radha obeys Lalita, who thus fulfills that maiden's desires. Shri Lalita Devi ki jai. So we should all pray to Shri Lalita Devi to give us shelter at her lotus feet. And once we're sheltered under Lalita's lotus feet, then we're automatically under the shelter of Srimati Radhika. And anybody who Radharani accepts, Krishna has to accept. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Oh, you had a question? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Good question. Let me try to visualize Mayapur altar. I would say Lalita's on the left side. They're, when you're facing them. Yes, am I right? Anybody else have an opinion on that? You've been there. Huh? Yeah. Yes, exactly. So when we're facing them, Lalita's on the left, our left, and Vishaka's on our right. Jai, Grantham Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.